The first debate between President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden took place on September 29, 2020. MHS News interviewed students in Marquette's Speech and Debate Club on their reactions to the presidential debate. The students interviewed were Sarah George, Trinity Lopes, Carter Gleason, Rohan Devraj, and Soham Saraf. These students were asked to reflect on their initial expectations and overall thoughts on the debate.
The sad thing is, those types of debates do happen, and that's the reality of it. But that's why we have the speech and debate team, and not even just speech and debate, Model United Nations, mock trial, all those other types of civically educated types of, I guess, platforms, because you're teaching the most effective mode of communication. And that's the only way that you're going to be talking to your voters. It's the only way you can talk to people and communicate a message. Because I couldn't imagine being on that stage and not being able to communicate my message in such a big, powerful position that those two individual candidates had.
I was really excited about the debate just because I'm super into politics and debate in general. And I just felt like this first debate wasn't as structured, and the American people didn't get the answers they were looking for. If I could vote and I was actually interested in both parties and what they had to say, I don't think that I would have had a clear idea. But because I know about both candidates, I feel like I already have my views on them. But I think if I didn't know anything about them, this debate definitely wouldn't help me.
I thought it was a lot of fun, actually. A lot of people wanted to focus on all the interrupting and the conduct and stuff, and just say that it was a loss for the American people. But I think if you look past that, there were actually some good issues raised. So yeah, I enjoyed watching it.
I think that the debate was just kind of bad in general, in my opinion. Of course, it was extremely interesting because I found it funny and I found it entertaining, but I don't think it was great in terms of information and the candidates really showing what their views are and how they're going to lead the country. I don't think they really showed how they were going to do that.
My expectations were for it to be a crazy mess, and they were 100% fulfilled, and I think they exceeded my expectations. I started watching for around maybe 5 minutes, and then I got up and left just because of how stupid it almost was, and how aggravated I was with how it was going. And it's not like I expected anything else, but it just was very surprising to the extent it went.
Students were also asked to reflect on the effectiveness of presidential debates, as well as the example this particular debate set for America.
Oh, it's a horrible example. That presidential debate was single-handedly a really bad representation to the international community of what's going to be happening at this election. No matter what happens, if the Democratic Party or the Republican Party or an independent party is going to be elected, it showcases how divided and polarized we are as a nation, that we can't even talk. We can't even civilly talk to each other. And even though, those single candidates don't represent a whole population, they do represent the ideologies that we have. So these are the leaders that we have voted in to the election. And no matter what, if you don't identify with them or not, they are still characterizing some type of aspect of the country that you're living in. I do think it is effective. And I actually think that this past presidential debate, in a sense, was effective because you could see not just the policy changes or the policy issues that the candidates were running on, but also their character, their charisma, their ability to, I guess, adapt to new circumstances. And at the end of the day, when you're on that stage, I don't think you can hide anything, because either the moderator or the opposing candidate is going to expose something about you. So I do think that no matter what happens, these debates are necessary and they are effective.
Oh, absolutely not. Especially if they go like that. I really don't think anyone's mind was changed on any particular issues or candidates. Now, I guess I can't really speak to that because I haven't looked at any data or anything, but I would say that personally, I would find it hard to have my mind changed when two people are just up there yelling at each other the whole time. So overall, there really wasn't a one side wins over the other. It was pretty big split, and I think if anything, it just depending on the political alignment of the viewer, then their chosen candidate would have won. I really think it doesn't change that much from how our politics have been already. I mean, Donald Trump went up there and he acted like everyone already expects him to act. He's a loud guy, so I really don't think it set any different example that hasn't been set already. But if you watched it from like someone from another country with more civil politics, they might be a little surprised. And, that's America.
It shows that the country is in a very unstable position, especially with coronavirus, racial issues, and a bunch of other things. The country is in an unstable position, in my opinion. Yes, I think they're effective because it reaches a lot of the American people, and what goes down in the debates are the key issues, and they're important to the American people to decide who will become the leader.
I don't think it changed my perspective whatsoever. I completely expected this sort of behavior from President Trump. I didn't really expect him to bring any sort of statistics or actual information to the table. I expected him to say what he was going to say and have, I don't want to say necessarily false claims, but misguided claims or ill-informed claims that he was, saying. And then from Biden, I expected him to be cool, calm, and collected. I expected him to focus on statistics and spreading information and telling people to vote.